Oh, do we have
And it's important to experiment. And the only way, kind of, there are some artists, and I know a good many that, that they've created their world and they don't move outside it, whether they feel safe in it, I don't know. But I think the only way, I think one of the prime directive for me, the creative, is to continually push. When I was practicing kendo, it was always wherever you were, you were forced to never allowed to feel comfortable. There was always more to learn. And I like sailing for the same reason, because it's a 360-degree experience, wind from every direction. And when you're drawing, you have to open events. And sometimes, I have lots of failures, I overdo it. You have to be prepared to do that. You have to be prepared to say, what would happen if I put this? Sometimes, it's just, you end up with just an appalling mess. But then I say to people, don't throw it away, put it in a drawer and look at it again in 6 months. And you'd be surprised how. But you must just be prepared to just play around and experiment. And you can see from this bit, these aren't montage. These are just drawn straight. So, but it leads to montage. You think, well, if I can do this draw, why don't I just take elements and then use a computer to rearrange them in another way? So yeah, there's a lot of pattern making. I love pattern. Um, I've never actually done textiles, but I love the idea of it, to make shapes and so forth, the interplay of shapes and the space between shapes. And the thing about line is that line and form, I was taught by my painting professor that, kind of the artist leads the eye, and lines oscillate, different lines, different qualities of line, they have speed values. And Pater said that all art moves to a state of music, and that's true. You should have fugue moments in an image and quiet moments, and the way you try to direct a viewer through it. So you get this strange interplay. So there are sounds, this sort of people can actually, hear the lines resonating, and the way the speed you move through a drawing, like that kind of zither. And it's not that one, it's almost an abstract thought, but it's something you engage with, and you become aware of it. That sometimes a line or a spot against a blob. And I love that idea of surfaces, the interplay of surfaces, of tight and loose
Yeah, and you have elements that move
and
quickly
transparent.
and simply, and then others that slow the eye down.